Hello, everybody. So I wanted to tell a story today that I thought of, and I don't know why, as I was waking up this morning. So I believe that it was when we lived in Arizona, and so I would have been kindergarten age. There was an alley that went behind our house, and on the other side of that alley there was a man-made hill that had an oil tank on top of it. I think you probably get an idea. It's a round tank with a flat roof, and this hill that it was on, I'm pretty sure, was man-made, that they had put there for these oil tanks. And I mean, it was a big oil tank. I don't know, I mean, like a big one, like, hundreds of thousands of gallons or whatever. And so they had to do some sort of work apparently on this tank, or at least on the hill where the tank was. And this hill was probably, just going by what memory and trying to put a grown-up measurement on it, maybe was 20 feet high to the bottom of the tank. And anyway, the company that owned it or whatever, they must have had to do some sort of work on the pipes, because they dug I guess you'd call it a trench. They cut a trench into the side of this hill all the way up to the tank. So if you can imagine, at the bottom of the hill where they started the trench, it was, the trench was 0 deep. And then let's say by the middle of the trench, as it's getting closer to the tank, then let's say at that point it would be 15 feet deep. And then when they got to the tank, again, let's say that, well, actually, I guess 10 feet, because I think I said the hill was 20 feet. I really don't know. But anyway, it was a fairly tall hill. So they had this slit cut out of the side of this hill, and it was probably 3 or 4 feet wide, maybe wider. I don't know if people were going in there to work or whatever. But anyway, so I had this idea one day that, for some reason, that made me think of a lineman, the people who climb up telephone poles and electrical poles to work on them. And of course, they always have lots of contraptions and gadgets on, belts and spikes to climb with, and gloves and hard hats and all that. And somehow I got this idea that I was gonna climb up the side of that trench like that. And if I remember correctly, that I got some belts and kind of put them around me, and maybe put them between my legs so it would look like a harness or whatever. And I'm sure in my mind I thought I looked pretty cool. And then I headed on out there and started climbing up. Now again, I wasn't climbing the trench that they had put in the side of the hill. I was climbing beside the trench that they had cut in the side of the hill. And all I remember is I probably got up maybe halfway up this hill next to this trench, and Mama Janet must have noticed that she didn't know where I was, and she came out there and found me like climbing up this hill beside this trench, because I thought I was being a lineman. And I don't really remember how upset she was, but I do remember, as I think about it, that I think she was really scared that I was going to fall, even though I, again, was on the hill beside the trench. I think she was afraid that I was going to fall into the trench and get hurt or worse. So anyway, so I guess I climbed back down, and who knows, I probably got spanked. I don't know. But anyway, to Gussie and Verona, this is not advice of things that you should do at all. This is just dumb things that I've done. So, yeah, anyway, okay, love you, see ya.